If you believe that the Bible is the only thing you need to know Christianity in its fullness, you have a logic problem.
Okay, let's take a look at what that logic problem is.
Back when the Bible was put together, end of the 4th century, you have to say that the Holy Spirit guided those Catholic clergy to put the Bible together. Because if the Holy Spirit didn't, you can't be sure you have the Bible. Agreed.
We can be sure we have the Bible because each book was divinely inspired by the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit inspired the authors of those books.
And most non-Catholics agree that the New Testament, which was established then, is the New Testament now, all 27 books.
Yes, the Gospels and the writings of the apostles.
However, when the Bible was put together back then, at the end of the 4th century, there were 46 books in the Old Testament.
That's not entirely true. Codex Vaticanus did not contain 1st and 2nd Maccabees, so it did not contain all 46 books of the Old Testament.
Not anymore. Martin Luther eliminated 7 of those books. He didn't think they belonged.
Martin Luther simply recognized that in the Hebrew scriptures before the Greek Septuagint, these 7 books, the apocryphal writings, did not form part of the Old Testament canon. Those 7 apocryphal books were brought in the Greek Septuagint and the Greek translation of the Old Testament. But in the original Hebrew, these 7 books did not form part. Martin Luther simply recognized that these books were not divine inspiration.
Here's the logic problem. Did the Holy Spirit get the New Testament right then, but he got the Old Testament wrong? And he had to wait 1,100 years to correct it? That's what you have to believe if you accept the New Testament as guided by the Holy Spirit, but not the Old Testament at the end of the 4th century.
We have a logical fallacy and a misrepresentation of Sola Scriptora. Sola Scriptora simply is the belief that the scriptures are the only infallible authority of the church. That doesn't mean that the church cannot be authoritative. It simply means that the church is not infallible. Secondly, we are not facing a logical problem because we believe that each book was inspired by the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit did its job, inspiring the authors to write down the books that we have today.